We're on the truck up at Pebble Beach. Greatest technician in the world is still behind me. We're bringing you banging best fitting session that you could have for a very, very special guest. It's happened impromptu. It's early morning. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit that bell notification. Before I reveal who this is, let's get the club built perfectly.
Truddy, you were right. It is fairly on the flat side, flatter than a standard driver. Flatter the driver, the more right the ball's gonna go. For loft, actually, we're right at about 9 degrees with a pretty much square face angle.
The golf shaft is already being cut, so I'm gonna check how the tipping section of this one relates to this other driver that we have here. So the way this would work, we line up the graphics. We know the bore depths are gonna be quite similar. So we're looking at an inch tip between where this one plays and that one plays. Check this guy. Like I said, this was impromptu. We're still at an inch, and this one plays at the length. So we might cut the length. So this is probably where we're gonna play off. And then we're gonna look at Stealth 2 Plus head, and then we will move the weights into the front. We'll get as much weight in the front as we can. Now the player has said they've got a little bit of a fade going on, so we're probably gonna put a bit of hot melt towards the heel to counter that. Anytime you fade it, you're gonna lose yardage. For a good player, who I think from chatting to them, they're a little bit steep on it, have speed, that creates a little drift to the right. So we're gonna set this up just like the good old days with a weight in the front.
I agree with that, Trotty, and of course, I want to do an 8 and a 9. I picked out 8 degree Stealth Plus, which has 8.5 degrees of loft on it to start. And I'm also going to pick out lower lofted 9 degrees so we can have some different face angle options to try to address the right.
Swing weight, balance point, I just checked that over on our side there. It's at D4. I like that. This has a mid-size grip on it, multi-compound. So you've got a lot of tapes, a lot of weight in the grip. We have to counter that in when we build this together. There's lots of weight to play around with. By Wade going with the 8 degree, we can shut the face if we need to. There is not a hope in hell that this ball's going out on the right. We set this thing up the way we want it. We will probably put less hot melt in the 8 degree head in the heel because we have the face angle to counteract it. When you do a fitting like this on a tour truck like this, you are able to do all these things before you even get out there and hit. Really, it's the ultimate way to do it. If you can have a workshop and a club going on and someone as skilled as this man, it's the ultimate. Give you guys a feel of this, when we talk about lie angle, this is how the club is in relation to the ground, and it impacts our start line. So right now we know this player is leaking it out to the right, but he's using a lie angle relation between golf shaft and sole of the club that would suit someone of my height. When you see what we got going on here, that is absolutely not what we're dealing with. By going a little shorter, by going a little bit more upright, we're able to get the player to get closer to it, change the relationship and the orientation of that lie angle to the target, therefore the ball start line will change.
Would you like to do this on him?
Sure, sure. How many papers you got in here, do you know? 5. Jesus Christ, I'm taking them off. Yeah, 5 papers, you just get taping that thing. Listen, I think we got to break the silence on this. It's J.R. Smith's driver if you haven't figured this out. Guy is an absolute beast of a man. He's going 5 tapes. We're in Scotty Scheffler territory on a mid-size. So when you wrap these tapes up and you go multiple tapes, you put the first one on. On tour, we don't wrap them like that. We go on, lay them flat, but it creates a little seam. So when you put the second one on, you have to go flat over the seam on the middle because you do not want, especially in these early tapes, you don't want any ridges in your tapes because a good player then is going to feel that. You want to keep it as tight as you can, as primo as you can. So with 2 tapes on there, I will snip the excess off because we're going for so many. The thing I love about this tour truck, everything moves around it, it has a flow. So if you are building clubs at speed, it's just simple, the process works and you can get these clubs out in action in under 15-20 minutes. Gone logo down in case I move things around, but other than that, just check the graphics are good down the back, good down the top, we're good to go. We've got our length, we've got our swing weight. What Wade's looking at now, he's got a 195 gram head weight. He's got the hot melt going, which is over his right shoulder there, and he's just gonna move weight around and manipulate this.
So what I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna do this 9-degree head, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out some of the weight in the back and put it up front to knock the spin down. So we have some special weights here for this exact purpose. I'm gonna be able to knock about 8 grams of weight off the back, put that up front to really bring this spin down to make this react like an 8-degree. We know what the head weight is, so we need 10 more grams there. So I'm gonna take off the front track, which is a 15, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the heaviest one we have up there, which is a 20, and then I'm gonna add also some hot melt to the very front. So this used to be a 15, now we have an 8, and now we added the extra weight up here, which is 100% gonna take some of the spin off of this driver. So we need 5 more grams of hot melt. I'm gonna go ahead and when I put this hot melt in, I'm gonna kind of put it right in this area right here. And you can always tell where you got it because the bottom of the head gets super hot. We all have our battle wounds from when we get it stuck on our skin.
So when you move around about 8 grams, 6 grams, you're moving the CG. And by pulling the CG of the club into different locations, the way that is in relation to the CG of the golf ball is what defines the ball flight. So the player will feel this. What JR feels from this driver is going to be different than what I feel. So with a tour player, you might get 2 or 3 shots and they're dialed. With an elite am, it might be 7 shots. But we should know here pretty quick. Which is why I always say you don't need your fittings to go on forever. Just not needed.
So this one here is done.
Top man.
We have an 8 and a 9 for JR to hit.
Adhesive remover for those nasty fingerprints. We'll get that done. We'll get out on the range. Let's go watch some bombs. Thanks, Wade.
You got it.
Yeah.
Great shot. Did you hit that high out the toe? So the spin was really down. It's the same pattern we had before. It's club path going that way. Remember when we were at the Kingdom and I stuck a stick out in front of you? And it's much better, but the club is still going left a little bit. The attack angle is good. I thought you were going to be a little steep. You're not. So it's all path related.
Just a lazy one.
Great. So JR, this is from where you were. You've come on a very good amount because the strikes are good. Good players will have speed. You have speed, but they will also have a path for the right-hander that moves to the left. And the reason they do it is to cover it and to keep this speed under control. So if I look at your speed, you're at 171. It's early, it's cold, you're just getting moving. Your path is consistent at 2 left. I don't hate it, but it obviously, to get the one that goes to the right, what I'm looking at is attack angle, is it a problem? And you've delivered 3 degrees up on each one. I think a lot of this drift, which by the way is not really drifting today, but a lot of it is lie angle. I really do. So let's throw the 8 degree in and let's see if we can get a bit more heat out of this. But your spin rate on these is actually a little low, but you did hit that first one high out the toe. So it'll feel a bit more upright, as if the toe of the club's a bit closer to your nose. So the 8 degree, we're gonna fix that start line with face angle. I'm gonna pull this front weight into the heel, so 15 grams all the way into the heel. We have got a left to right wind, so let's be conscious of that. I'm gonna move you a little bit towards higher, and then I just want you to hit a straight flush on that flag. So that was one shot. I just was checking it out. I'm more happy with that. Let's see what you got. Our ball to target line is there. And what you're doing is you're starting to get, that's why I picked that target, because this fitting bay is at that target. So just, dude, you almost want to be like Greg Norman from the 90s. Your setup wants to be, get the head in first, then build your stance this way. Because then that enables you to hit down that train track line, rather than, okay, I'm in, and then I put the club in. Well, now everything's on the piss, going over there, and you've got to go this way. And because you're a player, you do it. But we get some inconsistencies. I got the wind off the left and down. If you're over this much, see you later, right trees. If you square the blade, left trees. It's just a little orientation. That's all. You got to get things down the lines. Well, I mean, Let's just put a head cover on that and off you go. Now look, that's spinny, that's stally, and that didn't give us, so that didn't hunt. But if you swing like that, 2800, okay? Spin was a bit high. Face club path 4.7 left, attack angle up, I love it, 311. But if you produce me swings like that, well guess what? Now you're freeing me up to go back to where I was. I can go more aggressive now, less loft. The reason that you have success with that driver is because there's not much loft on it, and you are a high spin player, and you're not hitting it as low in the face as I thought you were. You're better than where I thought you were, to be fair, mate. But you have to freaking deliver the club the correct way. If you start swinging towards the left, then we're gonna struggle. Now I'm back to where we were, on loft. This is a great head for you. You now should be able to send it. The 9 won't be as efficient as this.
No, I like getting fit by the best.
We're done. So all you've got to do is get your head in the game with some alignment sticks. We've had this conversation before, it's easy. Get this puppy going down there, parallel left, and then what you do as a player is you get a second one, and this actual product comes with something that goes in between. I don't have it on me right now, perfectly aligned. I mean, it's training wheels, mate. Dive in. Club path, -6 on that one. Strike location is everything. Tiger, all he works on is hitting the plumb middle. It's the same as all the greats. You know, people get away with things in golf. That was delivered good. This is, I can live with -2. I've only put one number on now, that's all we care. Keep it simple. -2 I like, -4 is a little, because you towed it, it did that. I don't need to touch the club. We're calibrating, we're recalibrating. And I think, buddy, you take this 9 if you want, but for me, not needed. Don't need to say anything to players of this level with this much ability. Once they're aligned up, you show them the extremes, then you let them go. You gotta start understanding that maybe the world is not this side. You know what I mean? This ain't the world. Green light, swing that way. And you go this way, you hold the face as a player, and you add spin, and the ball goes straight. But mate, you're leaving points on the court. Okay, that's the right path. Now look at the difference in the apex and the flight and the spin. Look at the difference. That's a proper golf shot now. Look, mate, that's why I like doing stuff with you. Just moved it 7 degrees. People can't do that. All of you sports boys are the same. That's brilliant. 2300, that is amazing. Normalize, carried 298. That's brilliant. 3 mile an hour quicker than when you turned up. Brilliant. 11 launch, brilliant. 322. Why did it not come back? Because you've calibrated yourself to hit these squeezy little fades, which puts you in the realm of normal people like me. You're a freaking machine, mate. Get it aimed up correctly, let it live there. This is tournament play. Okay, fair enough. But I want to see the maximum points on the court. And the reason I like less loft is because less loft means that the efficiency between the ball and the hit gives more speed. So anyone out there, if you can play less loft, if you've got efficient like this and your attack angle, which is the club halfway down through to the strike, is 0 or up, you can get more speed. This is a high level player, high level athlete, you can see that. Go again, toe strike. That one you were trying to put in the ocean. You saw how far that one went when you started it in the correct spot. Give us one of them and finish it for the people.
There you go. That's a good one there.
How great is that? How great is that? How great is it? That's freaking great. Timed up, synced, transition, amazing. There'll be no one who'll come on this range in the next 2 months that will beat that shot, guaranteed. And that's what normal people can't do. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it, bro.
Great to have you. Guys, that wraps it up. Absolute stud of an athlete, does things that us normal folks cannot do. Thank you so much for coming on, JR.
Appreciate you,
You're an absolute legend. Hope you subscribed and liked that one. Bang in the comments. This is money. Let's see how he does over the next few months.